つも君と待ち続けた季節は何も言わず通り過ぎた。雨はこの街に降り注ぐ少しのリグレットと罪を包み込んで泣かないことを誓ったまま時は過ぎ痛む心に気がつかずに僕は一人になった記憶の中でずっと二人は生きてゆける君の声が今も胸に響くよ。それは愛がさまよう限り君は少し泣いた。あの時見えなかった。
Something feels odd here. Be on your guard.
Bad feeling about this. This one's mine.
You're ready and ready.
Here, not in your dreams.
Take this. Can you take it? Double demon fang.
These ones can run rings around us.
Catapult. Prepare to be seen. Burn in hell. You're mine.
Elusive deity. Leave the ensnaring to me.
Take this.
Yeah. And take this.
Now. This ends now.
Consider yourself finished. Double demon fang.
Everlasting
Negative death. Eat dirt.
Raging cascade.
Dance on the wing.
In here. More
Leave the charges to me. I'll grind you into
No escape.
Do it.
Double demon
on
fang.
your
Move
Take this.
corruption.
I'm not done.
Blah, blah, blah. That's it.
This should make for some good weapon crafting material.
Over our differences.
Now you're warmer.
Here goes! I need to pull myself together. Dreams. Where are you going?
It's too fast.
Stand back. I'll trip it up.
Coming through. Ha! Melt. Scarlet Inferno. Inferno!
Will this help?
Require a hand.
Take this! Burn it all! Damn it! Here I come!
I'm ready!
Dragon
All yours, Kisara.
Here I go!
You're mine!
Leave the charges to
No
me!
further.
Annihilation!
Devarna!
Mega Ray! Lightning Annihilation!
Take it! Dragon Sword!
I'm ready!
Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone! Illuminate the dark! Come forth, Holy Glimmer!
Break this
Holy
now.
Double
Land!
Demon Fang!
Catapult.
Crush!
Tempest.
Now!
Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
Small, but a victory nonetheless.
We have a long way yet to...
Those soldiers don't seem to have any qualms about attacking on sight.
Is someone making them stand guard over the Forbidden Zone?
This won't be easy.
It's all mine.
Don't be such a pessimist.
Double Demon Fang!
Here's a hero!
Eternal Devastation!
Now we're not in a bind.
Time to cross blades! Burn in hell!
Lunar Corruption!
Everlasting darkness.
Take
Lunar
this!
Blast!
Negative gate.
Here goes!
They smite with dragon blade.
Feel! Nothing gets by me!
Our arts are being interrupted.
Dragon
Stand
Sword!
in the wind! Here!
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Archino! The water is confiscated! I'm ready!
Take this!
This one's mine!
I'm not
Steel
done!
Force! More where that came from! Lunar Corruption!
Double Demon Fang!
Here!
Eternal Devastation!
I'll be annihilation!
Seismic rupture.
Eternal Devastation! It's done!
Can you take it?
Not today!
Holy Water!
Take this.
Into the shadows!
I'm not...
Take this. Then go what I can do.
Get into the wind!
Reflect on that spin. They
Dragon
smite with
Sword.
dragon blade.
Eternal Devastation! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Shine, radiant light.
Double Demon Fang!
Another incantation ruined. Don't suffer in
Dragon Sword!
Eternal
Devastation! Double Demon Fang! You picked the wrong fight!
We
require a hand. In a bind?
Lunar Corruption!
Blue escape!
This one's mine!
They smite with black blade. See what I can do.
Here's a healing art!
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Here's a healing art!
Double Demon
Illuminate
Fang!
the dark! Come forth, Holy Glimmer! Holy Land!
Thrust!
Freeze Lancer!
This one's all mine! Burn in hell!
Astral Purge!
Pile driver! I'm not done! Eternal Devastation! Blue escape! Dragon Sword!
Prepare to be sealed.
Gemini Alpha!
Shine, radiant
Double
light.
Demon Fang!
Force of regeneration. Regenerate.
I owe you one!
I'll stop its charge! Thanks, Kisara!
Nothing gets by me.
I'm out of ammo!
I'll smash you.
More with that inferno!
Everlasting darkness.
Do it!
River!
Astral Energy!
Say no more! I can feel my power growing!
Hi, Hoodle! Healing
Here
art!
I come!
First aid!
Don't
Crush!
her in silence.
It's off!
All disasters.
Eternal devastation!
It's like trying to keep
Double
up with a
demon
wolf.
fang!
Can you take it?
Burn in hell!
This one's mine.
Tornado drive.
I'm not done!
Water, hear my call.
Double demon fang!
Hear my flame of fury. Burning, not in your dreams.
Glacial Steel.
Hear the evil.
No further! Dragon form!
Prepare to be...
Coming through! Ha! Melt! Scarlet Inferno!
Will this help? Illuminate the dark.
Take this!
Here. Holy glimmer.
Flame inside me!
Can't get out of
to
the
be
pit.
let free! Ha! Burn!
Shattering the
Sorry to trouble.
Double demon fang!
Now.
Look sharp!
Lightning Tiger Blade! On your knees.
By the power of flame. Illuminate
I'll
the dark.
smash you!
You're mine! Your fit my turn!
Bloody howling!
Crush! Crush!
Hear me.
Double demon fang!
Burning strike. Water, hear my call. Illuminate the
Take
dark.
this!
Come forth, holy
Eternal
glimmer.
devastation!
Bloody take this!
Take this!
Lunar corruption. By the power of water.
Double dust!
Primed and ready. Still power.
Time to let it rip! It's
I
on!
never miss. Illuminate the dark.
Ha!
Come
Burn in
forth,
hell!
holy glimmer. Holy
I'm
glimmer.
ready! Coming through! Ha! Melt! Scarlet and...
Step back! This one's all law!
Let's dispose of the trash.
Illuminate the dark. Here.
Double demon fang!
Confiscated.
Here I come!
That makes me the thorn in my
Demon
side.
fang! Engaging!
By the power of
Regenerate! Dragon!
I can barge through armor!
denied.
The enemy wields artillery.
We'll soon see about that.
Crush! Dragon swarm! It's on!
Healing.
Burn!
Need to pull myself
In a
together.
bind?
Sleep now. Need to pull. Myself together.
Take this!
I'll grind you into
Double
dust!
demon fang!
Heal you all.
Crush!
Healing.
Down!
Need to pull myself together.
Dragon swarm!
Resonate with you?
Coming through!
Pull myself together.
Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Fall back! Now we're not...
Escape!
In a bind?
Sleep now.
Double demon fang!
Dirt. I never miss.
Shine!
It's time! Dragon swarm! Ignite!
Anything in armor is... Light burst forth!
Radiant Genesis! Huh. Illuminate the dark!
Now you see what I can do!
Far enough!
Reflect on thy sin! Thank Mike with crawling blade!
Double demon fang!
Now!
Shield!
This one's got your name on it!
Ashes to ashes!
Looks like we won. This must be it. The entrance to the Forbidden Zone.
But it's just a wall. How do we get through?
Whoa, we? I thought this was Sovereigns only.
Alphen.
Yes! It opened!
Interesting. If Alphen's presence still opens the way, it would seem the Sovereign of 3 centuries ago and now are considered one and the same.
What?
What the?
Alphen.
You again.
Tomorrow's the spirit channeling ceremony. We'll finally play our parts as the Sovereign and Maiden. How have you been feeling?
What am I sovereign of? Shuffled from lab to lab, always treated like an experiment. Whenever they look at me, all they see is a Danon. I don't even know what their precious ceremony's for, let alone what they're going to force me to do as the Sovereign. Tell me, if we're both in the same boat, why do you seem so calm right now?
No choice. Becoming the Maiden's not something I wanted for myself. But they said Rena's prosperity depended on it. How could I say no after that?
Still, as a Renan, at least you got to decide. Good for you. Meanwhile, I was taken from my homeland. You aren't the captive one here.
It isn't right what they did to you, and I'm sorry for what it's worth. When this is over, I swear I'll help you get home. I can't do this alone. One more day.
How could I say no to that? It's not like I have any choice in the matter anyway. So, what's your name?
It's Naori. Naori Imaris. Try to remember this time.
You don't act like them. Like the other Renans, I mean. How come you treat me like a person?
Because you are. It's true we come from different worlds. But neither one of us asked to be here right now. In that sense, you and I are much the same. We couldn't do this. We wouldn't be able to talk to each other as people if we didn't see the humanity in each other. So I suppose the question you should be asking is, why wouldn't I treat you like one?
You're not like the others.
Maybe they're not like me.
Here's what we'll do. We give them their damn ceremony. You get me to Dana. That'll be the end of it. I'm taking you at your word on this. I'm trusting you, not them. Naori.
What the hell just happened?
That vision. Did everyone else see it too?
That person Alphen was speaking to, she looked exactly like Shion.
It was Naori. Naori Imaris. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's right.
She really does look like Shion. I'm beginning to see why Alphen was so confused.
That's all very well and fine, but what did we just witness exactly? It was too real to be a mere hallucination.
It was a conversation we had 300 years ago. The night before the ceremony.
You mean all of that really happened? We just saw an episode straight out of your past?
But how is that even possible? Unless... Could this be the Red Woman's handiwork too?
No, I don't think so.
Why not?
You guys didn't feel it? The moment the entrance opened, it was like a stream of Danon astral energy rushing over us.
I felt it too. And not for the first time either. It was the same sensation as back inside the wedge.
That would make sense. After all, vast amounts of Dana's astral energy were being siphoned and sent up here to Lenegus. For all we know, perhaps we're close to the spot where all that energy was stored.
So you think it might have been the energy itself that was responsible for that vision we just saw? But how? And why?
We have no way of knowing. Maybe it's not even as deliberate as all that.
Shion, you okay?
Yeah. It was all just a little sudden. That's all. So that was my ancestor, huh? It was like looking into a mirror.
Yeah, there certainly is a resemblance.
What about you? How are you holding up?
Me?
Even putting aside the question of where that vision came from, it's likely we'll see more of those. Reliving painful episodes from your past. Do you think you can handle it?
I can't just pretend like the past never happened. Besides, if it helps us uncover the truth of what that ceremony really was, it might also lead to answers about your thorns.
Alphen.
That's not all. This whole time, we've been fighting to free Dana from the Renans. But now that we're here, it seems those same Renans might have it just as bad. I'd like to liberate them too if I can. Which is just another reason I can't afford to shield my eyes from the truth.
Whether you're on Dana or somewhere else, you always stay the same. Your indignation and righteous passion, your desire to free and protect, they're all hardwired into you. Not that I'm complaining. Come on, let's bust this thing wide open.
Nobody's here.
Stay sharp. After that last illusion, there's no telling what could happen in here.
Faria, how did you get in here?
Wait, something about her isn't right.
What's wrong with her? She doesn't even seem to know where she is.
Yeah, you're right. She looks just like the soldiers we encountered outside.
A summoning?
But that's preposterous. She never had that kind of power when—
We can talk later. Here it comes!
What? I've never known Faria to control noodles like that before.
How about with a stone that looks suspiciously like a master sword?
Where did she get her hands on that?
First we handle the Google. Then we get some answers.
Go
You
for
picked
the
the
weak
wrong
point.
fight! You're mine!
Sleep now.
Double demon blast! Eternal devastation!
Air drop over.
Ready and clear! Now you see what I can do!
Lightning condemn without a treasure blade! Illuminate the dark! Come forth!
Don't suffer in silence.
Rock and break! That'll bring you down! My escalator dance in the wind! Ready to go! I'll pick you up!
I owe you one.
Far enough! Mega Ray! Holy Hand!
Take this!
Mega Ray!
charging us!
That's what my shield's for. Get behind me.
Good! I'll leave it to you! Total Demon Fang!
Here goes!
Strike!
Confiscating!
Shattering pieces! Attack time! Crescent Strike! Total Demon Fang!
Burning blast!
Dragon Sword!
Forgive me. This is my fault.
You're finished! Here I come! Resuscitation!
Lightning!
I'm not done!
Lunar
Total
Blast!
Demon Fang! Take this!
Waterfall!
Not today!
Freeze Lancer! Will this help?
Here I come! I'll face you! Total Demon Fang! Dragon Strike! Elusive Deity! Double Demon Fang!
This one's mine!
I owe you one.
Take that!
Now you see what I can do!
Catapult!
Lunar Blast! Feel the power
Dragon
of water!
Swarm!
North of the south side!
Double Demon Fang! Eternal Devastation!
Denied! Alright! Down!
Take this!
Purge Annihilation!
The flame is only yours to be let free!
Feel!
Take this!
I'm
nearly done for you! On your
Here's a healing art!
Double Demon Fang! Coming through! Ha! Melt! Scarlet Inferno!
Illuminate the dark!
You're mine!
Now!
Chill!
This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
On your
Take this!
win! Card!
Double Demon Fang!
Lunar Corruption! Feel! Lunar Blast!
no fun!
Not on my watch!
I'll smash you! Take it! Dragon!
Wind Astral Energy!
Double Demon Fang! Here comes the big one!
I'll
face you!
Field! Lightning!
It's up no further.
Stay away from my friend!
No rest for the wicked.
Healing Circle!
From beyond, imbue with vengeance.
Just with the doctor! This one's mine!
I owe you one! Eat dirt!
Air Thrust! Go forward!
Listen to it!
All Lunar Blast!
Here I come!
To the front!
Can't get out of this! You're finished! Eternal Devastation! Not done!
Freeze Laser!
Now you see what I can do!
Now it's my turn! Dance in the wind! Sweep now together!
You're mine!
By the power of water!
Double Demon Fang! Eternal Devastation! Dragon Swarm!
By the power of
I'll face
fire!
you.
They vanish without a cause! Healing of purity!
In a bind?
Maelstrom! Explosion! Hear me!
You're mine!
I'll
blind you with a
Burning
shot.
Hear my call!
Radiant
You're mine!
Regeneration!
Dragon
Call
Swarm!
now through all!
Regenerate!
Ready to go!
The crossblade!
Denied!
Not on my watch! Let the marksman handle! Illuminate the dark!
Double Demon Fang!
Holy glimmer!
Smash you! Negative gate!
Pounding you apart! First aid!
Bloody howling!
Dance in the wind! Hear my call! Air thrust! Spread! Dance in the wind!
Can't get out of this!
Glacial field!
We've got him on the run!
Don't get cocky!
Right. Still anyone's fight! Dragon Swarm!
Regenerate! Don't suffer in silence!
Double Demon Fang!
Don't suffer in silence!
Some punishment?
You'll pay for that!
I'll bring you back from death. Resuscitation! It's about to strike!
Look sharp, everyone!
I'll be saving this laser ray! Raging annihilation!
Carve through armor!
Mega ray! All the goodness made one! Come forth! By the power of purity! Mega ray! Annihilation!
can't move!
Illuminate the dark!
Not done yet.
Holy glimmer!
Take this!
Holy land!
Now! While it's reeling!
Take it down!
Crush! Eternal devastation!
Light astral energy!
Dragon form!
Negative! Everyone, get back! Don't leave me! Too dangerous!
Anything in armor is all mine! Force of regeneration! Regenerate! Smash you!
Burning strike! I can do this!
Not done yet!
Ready to go! Far enough!
Heal! Listen to it! Double Demon Fang!
Do it! Astral energy!
In an instant! Impact Claw! Now it's just her!
Faria! Can you hear me? Faria!
She's preparing another summoning!
The art she's casting is way too powerful to control. At this rate, her body won't be able to take much more. Dohalim!
Forgive me.
Man, I thought we were goners.
Everything okay?
Yes. She's only unconscious.
Not her. I meant you.
Shion, please. Can you treat her?
I can try, but I can't promise she'll be back to her real self when she wakes up. All I can do is heal her physically.
We're not even supposed to be in here. Maybe it'd be better if we moved her to somewhere a little safer. Don't you think?
In that case...
I'll take her off your hands.
You?
Avakir, what are you doing here?
I was curious what you were up to, so I took the liberty of following you to find out. I overheard what you said about Tarnigan, about how he really died. I'm sorry, I had no idea.
And you believed me? What makes you so sure I wasn't lying?
I like to think I know you a little better than that, Dohalim. Give me some credit. I'll take Faria. Leave her with me. I know better than to ask what you're up to. But whatever it is, I hope it all works out.
Thank you.
He seems like a good friend.
He hasn't changed. He never was one to stand out. Instead, he was always hanging back, worrying about everyone else. As for Faria, it's always the closest to me who get hurt.
You don't seriously blame yourself for what happened to her, do you?
Somebody got to her, to strike back at me. Someone who knew me well enough to know that I'd hesitate to fight back. And the same goes for you as well. Neither you nor Faria would have lost loved ones if it wasn't for me.
You're wrong. Kelzelik was the one who killed my brother, under orders from Almadria. As for Tarnigan, if it weren't for the crown contest, he'd still be alive. That and the whole damn hierarchy that makes it possible. But that's why we're fighting. To put an end to this whole messed up system that treats people as expendable.
Indeed. Ridding society of this blight is really the only way I know how to atone for my sins.
You can't atone, Dohalim. I know it hurts to hear. but those people are dead. No amount of soul-searching or trying to make amends is going to change that. Forgiveness, acceptance, those ships have sailed.
So I just forget the harm I caused?
No, the opposite, in fact. You remember. You never forget. You keep it in your heart always. And then you go on living. Not for those already past, but for those still alive.
For those still alive.
Kisara's right. So long as we've still got breath in our bodies, we can make a difference in the lives of others. Lives being the operative word.
That's what living's all about. Being able to still make a difference. Punishing yourself for the past won't make the pain of your conscience go away.
Only fixing the problem in its stead. Is that what you're saying?
That's right. You have to live for tomorrow, Dohalim, not for yesterday. And not only that, you need to live for yourself, and for the change that you still can be.
I shall try.
Don't forget, we've still got a mystery to solve. The Forbidden Zone, remember?
Shion.
Huh?
Thank you. You have my deepest gratitude for what you did for Faria.
Glad to be of service.
I'm glad we could stop Faria without hurting her.
You all did much for her as well. I'm most grateful.
Oh, shucks. We're on the same team, right?
Do you think Faria was really being controlled by someone?
Certainly seemed that way. The question is, who? The Red Woman?
The same person who's behind all of this, I'll bet. Whoever that is.
Brainwashed or otherwise, the feelings of resentment she holds towards me are real.
Someone used her because they knew we'd hold back. If that's not playing dirty, I don't know what is.
It does tell us one thing at least. Someone here in Lenegis is watching us. Someone who means us harm.
There's no question. That attack was meant for us alone.
By someone capable of getting inside a person and manipulating them like a weapon. We need to find whoever it is, fast.
What is it, Rinwell? Do you hear something again?
Yeah. It's that voice.
The will of Dana's astral energy.
What? There's so much astral energy. But where's it all coming from? It's almost like it's alive.
that was the spirit channeling ceremony just now. No, it was more than that.
What the hell was that? It felt like everything was on the brink of... like the whole world was seconds from...
Oblivion. It's the same vision as the one my thorns show me. A vision of impenetrable darkness that swallows up us and everything else.
An empty void. A nothing so complete and dominating that there aren't even words to describe it. The end of time.
The visions of the apocalypse you've been seeing. If I'd known how bad they were,
So, everything we just saw, those were Naori's memories, right?
That's right. It was as if her innermost thoughts were speaking directly to us. At least I know they weren't mine.
That power flowing into her, it reminds me of Shion's thorns. If they're what's responsible for all these visions she's been having, then maybe...
Maybe my thorns are made from that same astral energy?
If that is the case, we just found the missing link between your thorns and what happened here 3 centuries ago. No, more than a link. Perhaps even the very heart of the matter.
I've never felt astral energy so powerful. What was that?
If it's the same energy your thorns are made of, it must be dark astral energy, right? And isn't that something only Renans have?
Correct. Dark astral energy is possessed by Renans alone.
And when enough astral energy gathers together, it develops its own form of sentience. If so, maybe that complete oblivion is exactly what the Renan astral energy's will is wishing for. But why?
I don't know. Will can be a pretty vague thing to nail down. It's more of a feeling, just like the will of Dana.
But the will of Dana is made up of astral energy too, right? And if that's what's been showing us these visions... I don't know, should we really be getting so involved with this thing?
Dana's will would never want oblivion.
But you can't say that for sure!
Cut it out, you two. Squabbling over theories will get us nowhere.
Let's keep moving. If it's Dana's will showing us these memories, then I'm as clueless about its motives as any one of us. But if it could lead us to the truth, then I want to find out more.
Shion's right. All we can do is keep going. If these really are Naori's memories we're watching, there could be truths in them I was never aware of. And I think they may be the kinds of truths I need to confront if we're going to keep fighting.
I'm sorry about what I said earlier. Come on, let's go.
Finally.
That vision we saw. It was as if it was meant specifically for us.
What do you make of it? Do you still think the will of Dana might be involved somehow?
Maybe it's trying to tell us something. But what?
Well, it could be supernatural. You know, like seeing dead people, messages from beyond the grave, ghost-type stuff.
That's your grand theory? That we're being haunted? Come on, Law.
Wait. He might be closer to the mark than you think. What if a person's thoughts and deeds were to somehow become indelibly etched into the ether of a place? And what if those with a connection could then somehow pick up on them?
You think that's what it was? Some kind of message someone left here for us?
I am merely entertaining the possibility. Whether it was Dana's will, or somehow connected to the Sovereign and Maiden's powers, I do not know.
Okay, back up a sec. You're saying that if a place is full of enough astral energy, it can somehow show us events that happened centuries ago?
More to the point, how does that much astral energy gather in one place anyway? Seems unlikely it happened naturally.
Whatever it was, it survived here intact for 300 years. Whoever left it for us, the strength of their intent is beyond doubt.
The strength of their intent. Soon, you might very well learn the truth behind Shion's thorns, as well as my own past. I have to be ready to face anything. Whatever happens. I'm determined to save Shion and Dana. Nothing I learn can change that. Hold up, you guys.
What is it?
I want to look through that room over there. I'm curious what we'll find.
That's the room you visited in your past, right? Sure. We can check it out. This looks like some kind of research facility.
A laboratory secreted away in the Forbidden Zone. Why am I past being surprised at this point?
Looks pretty deserted.
Let's check it out. It might give us a new lead.
For the people of Lenegis, the Forbidden Zone is the stuff of dreams. Yet here I am, standing within its hallowed halls.
It's off limits even for lords, then? Talk about an exclusive club.
Being exclusive is one thing, but how many important facilities let in only the Sovereign? Doesn't that seem a little strange?
Strange doesn't cover it. If it was only one room, maybe. But a place on this scale? How do they keep it from falling into ruin? Whoever the Sovereign is, they can't manage the upkeep of this whole place themselves.
Did no one ever talk about it when you were growing up?
No, not that I can remember. Then again, Sovereigns and Forbidden Zones weren't exactly breakfast table conversations.
The Forbidden Zone is a hallowed place, at one with the Sovereign's authority, grounds of the one true ruler who presides over all Renans. That is what we believed this place to be. No, what we were made to believe it was. But now, it is finally time to discover this area's true purpose, and why it was kept hidden behind the scenes for so long. I think I can make this work.
Well, can you make head or tail of it?
These are experiment records, by the looks of it. Reams of them, dating back hundreds of years. Let's see. A composite being capable of controlling Danan astral energy, so as to convert its molecular and elemental makeup. The creation of a governing central figure, taking the form of a Danan. Codename Sovereign.
Sovereign?
Wait, there's more. Research into utilizing force field crystals for the purpose of stable astral energy containment. That must be the Master Cores. With all this raw data, there's bound to be records here somewhere about the Maiden and the Lords, too.
About the Lords? Why would they be on there?
Think about it. The Lord's crests are clearly of a piece with those of both the Sovereign and the Maiden. Not to mention the fact that the contenders to the crown are selected from otherwise regular Renan citizens. In other words, it may be that all Renans are unwittingly being made subject to some kind of grand scheme.
What about the Sovereign? Does it say anything else?
Where do I start? All I've read so far is the headlines. There's so much here. To sift through all of it would require specialized... Wait.
What is it? Did you find something?
It's a list of names, with the title, Test Subjects, Sovereign. It's your call.
Read it.
There must be dozens of test subjects listed here. Hundreds even. All of them failures. Wait, I think I've found one that was successful. Test subject number 1273. Ethnicity, NA. Unique adjustment index, generation, NA. Given name, Alphen.
They've re-engineered me. Right here in this lab.
Alphen.
It's fine, really. What about the others? Was I the only one?
Test subject number 10105. Ethnicity, NA. Unique adjustment index, generation, NA. Given name, Volron.
Volron? But that means...
He's only Sovereign because someone made him that way too.
He's the last one. In 3 centuries worth of records, you and Volron are the only 2 subjects on whom the experiment was a success.
But what about the winners of the crown contests? Does this mean that none of them were ever crowned sovereign after all?
Upon victory, the Sovereign shall return to Rena and rule over Rena and Lenegis combined. When a new Sovereign is decided, the outgoing monarch shall relinquish their post and live out the rest of their days on Rena. So we were told. But according to these records, there have only ever been 2 Sovereigns, neither of whom had anything to do with the crown contest. It's all lies, including the part about the Sovereign residing in Rena. The crown contest was never about deciding a new ruler. It must always have been devised for some other purpose.
But even supposing that's true, someone must have been in charge for the past 3 centuries, right? If it wasn't the Sovereign, then who was it?
Crown contests have been held this whole time, in spite of the fact that there was already a Sovereign. Me. Meaning that for the past 300 years, someone out there has to have been maintaining that lie. The same person I'm willing to bet is behind all this.
The Red Woman?
It's possible. But that doesn't necessarily mean she's the mastermind behind this scheme. She could be working for someone else. Someone back on the Renan homeworld.
Either way, it's fair to say she's definitely involved somehow.
What about the data records? Is there no other information that could help us?
Not that I can see. Just file upon file of experiment results. There's nothing here about who's behind all this, or what their endgame is, unfortunately. I've barely managed to scratch the surface, mind you. You won't be able to read through it all, but you're welcome to take a look through what you can, while we're here.
I'll do that.
So this is where Alphen became the Sovereign, and Volron as well. The significance of this location would suggest...
Hey, it looks like the terminals in here turned on too.
We should look through them. They might contain valuable information.
Only 2 sovereigns in over 300 years. So why has the experiment only succeeded twice in all this time? And if that's the case, why keep on doing it? Was there really no other way? Or could there be some other reason?
Dohalim.
Forgive me.
Alphen.
I'm fine. I'm just a little shaken, that's all. I knew what I was already, so it's not like it's a surprise or anything. But it's strange. I've got all this rage inside of me, but I don't even know who it's for. I'm scared that I'll put a face to it, just to have someone to blame.
If that were to happen, then No. Then we'd help you fight it, before you ever got that far. Wouldn't we, everyone?
Yeah, we wouldn't just sit by and watch you spiral out of control.
That's right. No good can come from being consumed by hatred.
If you ever start to lose your way, you can count on us to guide you back. To remind you where home is.
And I would be happy to lend an attentive ear, should you ever have need.
Thank you, everyone. I think I'll be okay now. Naori,
Don't talk. I have to do this. I gave you my word that I'd help you return to Dana. The next time you open your eyes, you'll be home.
But you...
My place is here with my people. I still have a duty to fulfill. I'm sorry for what you've endured. Rena never should have dragged you into this. It's not your burden to bear.
But...
The mask contains a sedative. It should keep your mind from tearing itself apart any further. Let yourself go to sleep. This should help with the pain. Time to go, Alphen. Farewell.
Naori...
His injuries are worse than I thought. Short-term treatment isn't going to cut it. I'll have to switch the healing pod to long-term hibernation mode. The chance of surviving hibernation's less than 10%? And worse, long-term use of the mask carries a high risk of damaging his mind and nervous system. But... Lennigus will be nothing but ashes, and this starship along with it. I don't know if I can fulfill my promise to you, Alphen. But if doing this will grant you even the slightest chance, I have to try. I hope it's enough. Please, live for me, Alphen.
That vision. It must have been from when Naori helped Alphen escape Lenegis.
She sure went above and beyond the call of duty.
Even with Lenegis crumbling down around her, she chose to stay put with her people.
So that's why you lost your memories and sense of pain, and why you were asleep for that whole time. It was all the result of one agonizing decision Naori made to save your life.
Yeah. If it weren't for her, I wouldn't even be alive today. I owe her everything. More than I could ever hope to repay.
Now that you know how she felt, how do you plan on honoring her wishes?
She kept her promise. If the Renan people she fought so desperately to protect are at risk from a malevolent force, then I owe it to her to carry on her fight. Naori was the one who put that mask on. Made me Iron Mask.
She did it to prevent your soul from tearing itself apart. She knew you might lose your memories and sense of pain as a result. But more than anything, she wanted you to survive. And you did.
Place. We've seen this in one of Naori's memories.
Of course. After 300 years, this is where it was held. The spirit channeling ceremony. This is where the Renis Alma was.
So this is the place where you and Naori...
The Renis Alma isn't here now. Nor is the Red Woman, it seems.
I know it's difficult, Alphen, but there will be time to dwell on the past later. For now, we need to keep moving. Come on.
Naori.
What is this? Is it the work of Dana's will again?
It's been a year since the ceremony. That day, I shut away inside of myself the power that caused Alphen to lose control. Since then, my visions of the future have grown more and more fearsome.
Is this another memory? No, it's different this time. It's like she's speaking directly to us.
What we did back then. Not so much as a day passes when I don't think about it. About what was done to us. All in the name of a ceremony. The purpose of which we were never even told. As Sovereign, they linked Alphen's consciousness to Lenegis itself. The Renis Alma was intended to control his power, lest anything should slip through its cracks. That day, as Maiden, my role was to temper his power. I was meant to guide it forth, and give shape to the strength inside of him.
Linked to Lenegis itself? But then, everything that's been happening...
But that power showed me a vision. A vision of oblivion. When I realized that vision was a prophecy of the apocalypse we were about to unleash, I couldn't go through with it. But without a maiden, the ceremony was doomed. Alphen lashed out, his consciousness no longer his own. I did what I could. Using my abilities as the Maiden, I tried to seal that power away inside of me. But it was too late. Lenegis had already been brought to its knees. Thousands upon thousands of lives so cruelly snuffed out. All because of me. Because of what I had done. With the destructive force now slumbering inside of me, I knew I had to find a way to dispose of it. Anything to make up for my failure. But I didn't know how. Especially since that power was astral energy itself. In which case, ironically enough, the Renis Alma seemed to be my best bet. That, at least, would hold the astral energy dormant. Assuming that no malevolent third party got to it first. With the Sovereign and Maiden's combined power, perhaps I could shift the chaotic energy inside me into the Renis Alma instead. That's what I hoped, but alas, it was not to be. The Renis Alma was lost, and Alphen, the Sovereign, was in a starship bound for Dana. My only choice was to seal away the destructive force inside of me using my powers as the Maiden, to buy the world what little time I could. The time needed for a new Renis Alma to be crafted, and for a new Sovereign to appear. Even if by doing so, it meant I would be passing the curse on to my descendants as well. Please, forgive me. I never meant to burden the future world with this threat too. I only wish that there was something more I could have done.
Wait, you can't just...
Naori.
That message just now, was it directly from Naori? Or was it the Danan voice speaking through her?
What?
These are the clothes that Naori and I wore during the ceremony 3 centuries ago.
So you're saying this is the Maiden's outfit?
That's right. These clothes are designed to resonate with the Sovereign and Maiden's abilities. They focus and enhance them.
And they appeared now because...
Naori must have left them here for the new Sovereign and Maiden, knowing the day would come when they would need them in their fight against the Thorns.
These outfits are directly linked to the answers we've been chasing this whole time. If they're here, it must mean it was Naori's will for us to find those answers as well.
Locating the Renis Alma would allow us to neutralize the dark astral energy inside Xion, thereby silencing her thorns. Is that what Naori's suggesting?
It makes sense. After all, Master Cores and Spirit Vessels are both able to prevent the astral energy inside them from developing sentience. By that logic, it would stand to reason that the Renis Alma would have the same ability on a larger scale.
We have a Maiden and Sovereign. Now all we need is the Renis Alma, and we'll finally be able to free you of your thorns. Xion.
It's possible? You really think so?
I do. We can rid you of your thorns and stop the world from falling to oblivion.
However, the spirit channeling ceremony already failed once. Even if our goal is different this time, we can't be sure the same thing won't happen again. We should take care not to be too optimistic.
You're right. It's the barest sliver of a chance. But if there's even the slightest hope it can work, I'm willing to stake everything I've got on it.
I know it's too early to let myself feel relieved, but I just can't seem to help it. Just hearing there's the slightest chance, even though I know the world's still in great peril. It's selfish of me, I know, but still.
No, it isn't. You found hope to believe in. It'd be strange if you weren't over the moon about it.
Rinwell's right. We can rid you of your curse and still save the world at the same time.
Thank you. Naori entrusted us with the fate of all humanity. Now, it's up to us to prove that trust was well placed.
Starting with a little game called Hunt the Renus Alma.
Yeah, we've come all this way. Now we just need to search Lenegis and Rena until we find it.
Yeah, we can protect the world and save Shion at the same time.
I too shall lend my services. My knowledge of Renan lore is bound to be a useful asset.
And they say modesty is dead.
Miracles just seem to follow wherever you go, huh?
How do you know it's me they're following? We're all in this together, Shion. You included. Now let's get moving, shall we? Last I heard, we had an apocalypse to stop. Thank you, Naori. So Naori sealed away the power that made me lose control of myself. She stopped my rampage and saved my life. But then, that power she'd sealed away was passed down to you. I'm so sorry, Shion. It's my fault that you're cursed.
You're wrong. What happened to you was because of the ceremony and Naori's attempt to stop Oblivion. You paid a heavy price for it, and then fell asleep for 300 years. The reason you lost your memories
is the reason for your curse.
The thorns.
It all leads back to them. But once they're gone, we can finally put an end to all this.
When my thorns are gone, I never dared to dream that such a thing could be possible. No. The truth is, I think maybe I've always been dreaming about a life without my thorns. The touch of my family, or playing with my friends, holding hands with Rinwell, or giving Law a deserved smack, embracing everyone. All the normal things that people do together. I always wished I could experience them for myself, and finally know what they were like. Is it really okay for me to believe it can happen? I'm so scared of getting my hopes up. What if it doesn't work out in the end, and...
That's not going to happen. I'm here to make sure it won't. Forget fate or destiny or anything else. We're going to live a normal life. There are a lot of things you still want to do, right?
Yeah, you're right. It's such a strange feeling. I know that we've still got plenty of fighting up ahead, and it's for my sake, so I can live.
You're worth fighting for.
I believe you, Alphen.
Good. I'll keep on fighting. For as long as it takes. Until our future is finally in our hands.
Sounds like this Naori chick had quite the big heart.
Her position demanded nothing less. From the sound of things, she didn't focus on differences, least of all those between Renans and Danans.
Yeah. It was Naori who first showed me that such a thing was even possible. And then she saved my life by sending me back home to Dana.
Not only that, but she willingly stayed behind on Lenegis for the sake of her people. It sounds like she was quite the hero, all right. A truly caring person.
It's as if walls meant nothing to her. The ones separating the Renans from the Danans, or herself from others. She had no need for them.
Which basically meant that she never had anything to break down in the first place, huh? Yeah. I think you may be right about that.
You inherited that legacy. Her wish for the world.
Don't I know it?
She's kind of like a lodestar guiding our way, showing us what we can aspire to.
That's quite some door, all right. This might finally be it. The heart of the beast.
We'll find the Renis Alma and the Red Woman inside, right?
After everything we've been through to get here, they damn well better be.
We'll probably be needing you to open this one for us, Sovereign.
Go for it, Alphen.
This is it, guys. Time to see what secrets are in store. Volron! He really was still alive.
And there's the Renis Alma. Then, is this another spirit channeling ceremony?
Wait, though. Something doesn't seem right here.
Once more, the powers must be united. Born from the fires of chaos, the world does seek its rightful state. All must be sacrificed in the heart of Rena, at the shrine of the true sovereign.
What has happened to him? He's lost himself, reduced to a mere cog in a machine.
Hey, look! Over there!
Isn't that the Maiden's crest?
Can it be that this entire chamber is meant to act as a substitute for the Maiden?
It looks like it's still running, but... are we already too late to stop the ceremony?
If that's what caused Lenegis' transformation, then the purpose of the ceremony must have been to drain all the astral energy out of Dana.
But for what purpose? What could possibly need astral energy on that sort of scale?
I don't know. But whatever it is, I'll bet it's connected to those visions of oblivion. Regardless, we cannot stand by and let them steal Dana's energy. That said, we should retrieve the Renis Alma. Because right now, we need that most of all.
He's not gonna lunge at us out of nowhere, right?
Not the time, Law.
Alfred, look!
The Red Woman! So we finally found you. I have a lot of questions for you.
Wait!
What?
They all have the same face? How is that even possible? What is this?
Who the hell are they?
It can't be. Are they even people?
It's hard to know for sure, but I think they're the true rulers of Rena.
They're not feeling particularly talkative.
It's no use, Alfred. If we don't fight, we may as well be sitting ducks here.
Good point. Let's stop them before this gets out of hand.
Here, let me help!
Can't get out of this!
Not on my watch!
Take this! Double demon blade!
Lightning orb!
Not so fast!
Raging cascade!
Now you see what I can do!
Take this! In the wind! Air thrust!
Double demon fang!
Shield from calamity!
Take this!
Arcane interrupt moves!
Not now, and not ever!
Negative
I
gate!
owe you one.
Bringing you apart!
I'm
ready!
Double demon fang!
Denied!
Nothing will hold me.
Hear me!
You're mine!
Regenerate! Another incantation root!
Mega ray!
I'm not done!
Here goes my aqua! Annihilation! Rage of cascade! Finish without a trace!
Here I come! Double demon fang!
I'll grind you into dust!
All disaster!
Dragon Blade!
It's in your hands now.
You'll pay for that!
Ready?
I'll heal you all! Now
Double demon fang! Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
I'll bring you back from death. If it's in the sky, it's mine! Select... Steel hammer! Ready!
I owe you one.
This one's mine!
Out of the woods, it seems.
Double demon fang!
Armor won't save you!
You're mine!
Just what the
Double
doctor
demon
ordered!
fang!
Not
It's
in your
on!
dreams!
Ha! Burn in hell!
Illuminate resource!
Thank you!
Eternal devastation!
Tornado drive!
Double demon fang!
Mega ray! Illuminate resource! Annihilation! Power of flame!
deity!
Steel Force!
Rage!
Raging Cascade! Here! Sleep now!
Double demon drag!
I'm not saving this one!
This should do it! This one! Can't get out of this! I owe you one!
Come forth and hear the purity!
Anything in armor is all mine! Everlasting dark! Eternal devastation! Negative gate! I can carve through armor!
I'm going to utilize all the power of my gentleman to
Take this!
eat dirt!
Double demon fang!
I never miss! Photon Flash! Raging
Eternal devastation!
Leave the force to me! Powered up!
Double demon fang! Ignite! Shine! Radiant light!
Not on my watch!
Here I come!
Ready? Go!
I'm not done!
Raging
Eternal devastation!
Flawless flight!
Dragon's War!
Reload!
This should do it!
Reload!
In a bind?
Here's a healing art!
I'm not done!
Shattering
pieces! Attack time!
Here's another!
Here I come!
Captivity! Without a trace!
Dragon Swarm!
Can't be swallowed! More without
Double demon fang!
field!
Burn!
Illuminate the dark! Heal you all!
Shine! Radiant light! Nothing gets by me! Regenerate! Crush! Double demon fang!
This one's mine!
Allow me to help you.
Forward up!
Benediction light!
Back into the fray! Thunder field!
Double demon fang! Eternal devastation!
Lightning wind! Confiscated! Burning strike! Glacial
No.
Pierce evil!
Can't get here!
Don't illuminate the dark!
In a bind?
Back from death to bit!
Anything in armor is all mine!
Resuscitation!
you!
Will this hurt?
Deity!
Photon healing ground! Thunderblade! Illuminate the
Double
dark!
demon fang!
For the
Eternal devastation! Double demon fang! Dragon Swarm!
Annihilation! Radiant pierce!
Take this!
I'll bring you back from
demon
death to
fang!
wind! Field! I'll bring you back from death to bile! Steel force!
Double demon
More where
fang!
that came from! Oh, but... Carve now to all!
Cut and slash!
Fire flame!
Burn!
Finish without a trace! Hard
Joy!
blood!
Then you demon fang!
This one's mine! Freeze Lancer!
Ready and will! I can carve through armor!
Rise and shine!
Begin! I could do without you!
Lightning
Double pistol! Double demon fang! Burn in hell!
I'll heal you all!
Let me free you of your power!
My
natural defenses are fading. I'm a sitting...
Retreat from this battle.
No more retreat! I would never.
In a bind?
Mega Ray! Light confiscated!
Take this! Elusive demon fang! Eternal devastation!
Thunder field! Chromatic field! Dance in the wind!
Denied!
Sleep now!
Double demon fang! Eternal devastation! Dragon stop! Ready and will! I'll smash you! demon fang! Eternal devastation!
Regenerate! Glacial spear!
Coyote! This should do it! Double demon fang!
This one's mine!
Shine! Eat dirt!
Regeneration!
Here I come! Dragon swarm!
Into the shadows!
This should do it! Double demon fang!
Finish without a signature!
Shine! Radiant light!
Force of
regeneration!
Glacial spear! Here's evil!
Stay away from my
Freeze
friend!
Lancer! Leave the charge! I'll bring you back from depth to
Dragon swarm!
Anything in armor is all mine! I can carve through armor!
Double demon fang!
Captivity!
The flame inside me yearns to be let free!
Do it! This ends now!
Consider yourself finished!
Will this help?
Surrender! Fighting is useless now!
Do you think it's really over?
Astral energy. Watch out! They've got something up their sleeve!
What?
It's self-destructed?
Alphen!
I'm okay. Just a little roughed up.
You had me worried there.
Who said you could touch that?
Damn it! He's awake!
I should have thought as much.
So you know this place?
Naturally. It was built for me, after all. We'll save that for another time. More pressing is how I'm going to tear you apart.
Even after all this time, you still insist on hating me?
You cut me down. Sovereign or not, you will pay for that.
You're obviously bluffing. You can't even move right now.
Really, is that what you think? Did you really think that such a petty device could hold me?
Are you going to claim it's because you're a ruler? Be it sovereigns or lords. In the end, they're all titles given by someone else.
Plus, what kind of ruler would spend all his time chasing Alf, who happens to be another sovereign?
Idle prattle. I proved my worth and the Sovereign's powers were granted to me.
Were they really? We already know the title of Sovereign doesn't denote royalty. It is but an overblown codename for those with a designated part to play in these proceedings. You mentioned before that you were not the only one stolen from Dana, correct?
Yeah. There were countless. And every one of them besides me died.
All of those failed experiments, and they still kept going back to Dana. There must have been some vital reason their subject had to specifically be a Danan. Then there were the records we found in the library, for you and Volron. They were logged 300 years apart, and yet the data they took from you was exactly the same. Which leads us to a single conclusion.
Then you mean Boran was kidnapped just like Alphen? But then he became a
slave from Dana. Just like us. Isn't that right, Volron?
So he posed as a Renan and caused all that suffering to his own people?
How could you? If you knew the pain of being a slave, why would you inflict that upon others?
Renan and Dana are meaningless distinctions. Me and everyone else. That is all that matters. I will stand above all others and take what is rightfully mine, starting with this.
A red woman?
Another one?
Give your master back on Rena this message. No one makes a fool of me. Let them know I'll make them suffer.
Don't do it!
Too late. You can't stay here.
We need to go. Alpha!
Go. But know I will be your shadow no matter where you try to run.
Let's go.
Never forget, I am the one who devours everything. Who answers to neither spirit nor man. My word is law. I am.
Are you two okay?
Yeah. We'll be fine.
Is Volron... have we finally seen the last of him?
We can but hope.
Those red women. What the heck was their deal?
Could they be the ones behind all this? The same ones who put those soldiers in Faria in a trance?
What, those brainless things? Either way, they've done a runner with the Renis Alma. Damn it, that's the second time now!
Whatever's stolen from us, we'll steal it back. The future's ours to protect. And right now those things are what's standing in our way. We can head them off at Rena.
Did you say Rena?
Volron mentioned a master of theirs holed up in the motherland somewhere.
If that monstrous form's their true identity, I shudder to think who they take orders from.
Yeah. There's a good chance it's not human. That's for sure.
So this thing over on Rena, that's what's really behind all this, huh?
They have the Renis Alma in their grasp already, so it's unlikely they'll have cause to return to Dana. I agree that Rena's our best shot.
Then we're agreed. Let's head back to the starship.
But seriously, I was not expecting Volron to actually be here.
He seemed to care not one whit about Renans or Danans.
Yeah, not in a good way like with us.
I didn't see that coming about Volron. As for those red women, To think they were monsters all along.
Tell me about it. One minute they look perfectly human. Next thing you know, they're not actually human at all.
They definitely weren't Renan or Danon. I'm not even sure language would get through to them.
So what were they then? Human Zoogle hybrids?
Is the most terrifying thing anyone said all day?
How about you, Shion? Doily? You ever seen anything like that before?
No, never. However, if they're the same as the Red Woman we've seen with Volron, I think it's safe for us to assume they understand our language at the very least.
I had just so much I wanted to ask them. About Rena, and Shion's thorns.
Unfortunately, they blew themselves up before we got the chance. Why would they do such a thing, though? To take us with them? Or in order to keep something hidden?
Both sound plausible to my ears. They took off with the Renis Alma too, remember?
Yeah, they did. And the next time we meet them, we're going to make sure they tell us everything they know.
Look at that! I've got a really bad feeling about this.
Now you'll learn! I'm going in! Bring him down!
Can't get out of this!
Here I come!
Not on my watch!
Eternal devastation! Double demon fang! Coming through! Ha! Mount! Scarlet Inferno! Kisara! Commander of Heaven!
Phoenix Cyclone!
I'll heal you all!
Resonate with you! That'll bring you down!
Double demon fang! You picked the wrong fight!
I can handle it! Bloody holiday!
It's almost too strong.
I'm ready! Astral energy! Full throttle! Go! Right. I'm only getting ready. Here!
Dragon Swarm!
Anything in order. You'll soon see about that!
Now you see what I can do!
Deny! Back into the
Take this! Elusive damage! Eagle Ray! Escape! You're mine! I'll grind you into dust! Do it! In an instant! Impact block! It's time!
Radiant Pierce!
Elusive!
Glacial Spear!
Take this! You're mine!
Freeze Lancer!
Burn! Shine! Radiant light! Force of regeneration! Regenerate! Double demon
Suffer
fang!
in silence.
Lunar
Don't
Power!
suffer in silence.
Double demon fang! Reverse!
Astral Energy!
Say no more!
My exploits are bearing fruit.
Let's dispose of the trash.
Take this! Spirit!
Armor won't save you! Healing
Double
circle!
demon fang!
Captain Swirl! They really don't give up, do they?
Engaging!
Where are you going? Thunderbolt!
I'm not done! I'm ready!
Kizara! Go for it!
Prepare to crumble!
Lightning!
No! Double demon fang!
That's my cue!
Take this! Shut him down! Dragon form! Too fast!
Stand back. I'll trip it up.
Double demon fang!
Release! Pierce evil!
Take this!
Burning strike!
Take this!
Engage!
Double demon fang! Fire support!
Hear my call!
Green based blood.
Raging roar!
Another incantation brewing.
Darling! This one's got your name on it!
Action to action.
Not in your dreams!
The flame inside me yearns to be let free! Dragon swarm! I'm ready!
Darling! This one's got your name on it!
Action to action. On your
Annihilation! Dance to the wind!
Double demon fang!
Let the mark survive!
No escape!
More red!
Double demon fang!
Radiant sword!
I'm ready!
Pile!
I can feel my power growing!
Little help! Nothing gets by me! Flame of
Double demon fang!
no further.
Glacial spear!
No!
Evil!
Stop!
Leave the agile one.
Save you!
Crush!
Freeze
It's on! Ignite!
Leave the ensnaring to me.
Yeah! I'm ready!
To me. Light burst forth.
Radiant Denizen!
Dragon swarm!
Annihilation!
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Illuminating Arc!
Double demon fang!
Holy Glimmer!
Regenerate! Here I come!
Bloody Gut!
Dragon swarm!
Not on my watch!
Allow me to help you.
Here I come! Double demon fang!
I'm ready! This one's got your name on it!
Action to action.
Now! Here I come!
Can't get out of this.
No escape!
Now! Hear my call!
Double demon fang!
Everlasting shot.
Now!
Light burst forth.
Radiant Denizen! Glacial Spear!
My
Pierce
turn.
evil!
Ha! Burn in hell!
Freeze Lance!
Small, but a victory nonetheless.
We have a long way yet to go.
choice. Hot. See what, eh?
Bring you down.
Take this! Let me see what I can do!
Like the
Can't let the hatred consume me.
For my lord!
Dance in the wind. In here. Now. Demons descend.
Flashing fang!
Radiant illuminate the dark.
In a bind!
Out of ammo.
You're finished!
Holy land.
Double demon fang!
Annihilation. Now. Frozen.
Hammer!
Mega ray.
Take this! Long
Not in
down!
your dreams.
You picked the wrong one!
Catapult! Shattering the pieces!
Let astral
I
energy.
can carve through armor!
Raging cascade. This one's got your name on it.
Action to action!
Glacial spear. Piercing pressure field.
Enough done! Double demon fang!
I think the earth belongs to
You're
me.
mine!
Can't get out of this!
I'm not done!
Power of water.
Take this!
I'll blind you with
Do
this
it.
shot!
Remember!
Astral energy.
Say no more!
We managed to pull through.
Go no further.
Take this!
That'll bring you down.
No escape! It's over!
Field. More for the pile.
Your reflexes will not
Freeze
serve you well here.
all day.
This one!
Radiant
On your knees! Eat this! I owe you one!
More for
Take
the
this!
lightning condensed.
Far enough!
Time to let it rip!
Thunderblade.
Ready and ready!
Now further.
Coming through! Ha! Now! Scarlet Inferno!
Let me show you what my arts can do.
Double demon fang!
I can carve through armor! Prepare to be
Take this!
Resurrection.
Dragon Swarm!
Spirit flame. Propagate.
You! On your take this!
It's over.
Here I
My
come!
astral energy.
Double down.
War without hate.
You're mine!
My astral energy. This ends now.
Consider yourself finished!
A comfortable win.
What the? When did it get pitch dark all of a sudden?
The lights are all out. Think it has something to do with the explosion back in the Forbidden Zone? Doe?
You two.
Faria, Avakir. Thank goodness you're safe.
Avakir filled me in about everything. About how I ambushed you all.
She doesn't remember a thing, so she really was being controlled.
He told me about Tarnagin, too. Is it true?
What difference does it make? What's done is done.
Stop casting me off, just for once!
Faria, not now. It can wait. Dohalim, Lenegus is in grave peril.
So I can see.
It's the city's core reactor. It's damaged. Some of the basic systems we've managed to keep online, but complete restoration still a way off.
You're an elite technician, though. You can fix it, right?
If so, then what's the problem?
Panic's begun to set in among the citizens. Until now, whenever something like this happened, the Sovereign would issue a decree. But this time, not so much as a peep. Any longer and we run the risk of riots breaking out before we can get things back up and running.
Forget the Sovereign. I doubt you'll be hearing from him anytime soon.
What's that supposed to mean? Do you know something I don't?
Suffice it to say, the Sovereign isn't the kind of ruler we thought he was. That is, if he ever even existed, which is looking doubtful at this stage.
Are you out of your mind? Why, if people knew that a lord such as yourself was whispering such blasphemy, they'd...
There's no time to explain now. It sounds like we need to find a way to keep Lenegis from spiraling out of control.
We need to stop that riot.
But how do we do that?
Riots feed on discontent and unrest, right? So if we want to keep the peace, we just need to put people's minds at ease.
At ease? Like by letting them hear directly from someone they trust. That's it. Who's the highest-ranking person in Lenegis right now?
Lenegis wouldn't have a next in line. After all, you said the Sovereign rules over everyone directly, right?
Correct. The closest thing to an authority figure would be a lord, and the only one left is... Ah, very well then. Avakir, you mentioned a few facilities were still online. Which ones?
Why hasn't the Sovereign said anything?
Please, won't somebody explain what's going on?
Is it over? What's going to happen to all of us?
Heed me now, fellow remnants of Lenegis. It is I, Lord Dohalim Ilkaris of Eldaman and Sia.
Look, up there! It's Lord Dohalim!
Hold on! He should be in the crown contest! Shouldn't he? Why isn't the Sovereign talking to us?
The Sovereign is seeing to other matters right now. In my capacity as Lord, I speak to you in his stead. You're afraid, as people so often are when faced with the unknown. I hope you'll allow me to put your fears to rest. The city's core reactor has experienced a malfunction. However, we have our top engineers attending to the matter, and things will soon be back to normal. I know that you feel abandoned, perhaps more scared and alone than ever before. But I ask you all to keep one thing in mind. You are Lenegis, not the lords and sovereign. The solidarity of its citizens is the mortar that holds it together. If we don't allow ourselves to be distracted by our differences, if we put our hearts and minds together and stand as one, I am confident we will find new hope. I would be honored to stand with you. Not as a person of loftier rank, but as another human being among many. I hope that you'll lend me your strength, for if we can persevere as one, I know a bright tomorrow awaits.
Your speech seems to have done the trick. Looks like the city won't be descending into chaos after all.
I only pray the relief will tide the city over for the time being.
What you said earlier, about the Sovereign possibly not even existing, was it true?
It's still too premature to say with any certainty, but I believe so. This whole time, this world we've been fed was a lie, built on nothing but falsehoods.
But it can't all have been...
I can believe it. After everything I saw in the Forbidden Zone, what they did to Faria, it's the only explanation that makes sense.
But what about hierarchy, Avakir? Authority? The very foundations of Renan society? How can we live without someone to guide us?
I'd say we found someone capable of doing just that, wouldn't you?
You? You can't be serious.
I have business I must take care of first. But once everything is over, I shall return. But not as your sovereign. nor as a leader the likes of which the people here are used to, I think.
But how else do you propose to rule?
I'm not sure yet. All I have is a feeling that here in Lenegis, a new dawn is on the verge of breaking. One in which people won't be judged by birthright or on the power of their astral arts, but on other things. More important things. Things like, oh, I don't know, musical talent, for example.
When I bumped into you after all those years, I said you were no different. But I was wrong. Truth is, you were always different. I feel like maybe now I can finally begin to accept Tarnigan's death. To see a future.
You go finish whatever it is you've got to do. I'll hold down the fort here in Lenegis till you get back.
Thank you.
I guess you're not going to make it to Menancia for the foreseeable future, huh?
Indeed. Forgive me.
The people of Elda Menancia can look after themselves just fine. It's the ones here on Lenegis who need someone to guide them. Besides, with you leading the people here, it'll help spread the idea of coexistence beyond Menancia's borders that much faster.
Sounds like you're in it for the long haul.
How could I not be, after the second chance that I've been granted? From this day forth, I shall dedicate myself to the future inhabitants of this world. Though the memories of the departed shall remain forever in my heart.
Remember, you're going to be leading the people here, not ruling them.
True enough. Whatever would I do without you, Kisara?
With or without her, I suspect you're gonna have your hands full when the time comes. We should be heading back to the ship. Business on Rena awaits. Looks like the people of Lenegis can rest easy.
I couldn't have done it without your words of encouragement, Law.
Hey, you're the one who made the speech.
I think everybody can share the credit here.
What do you say we check back in on the ranch?
Have you guys checked your equipment lately?
In one sense, when all is said and done, perhaps I have been a slave this whole time too.
You, a Renan Lord? How do you figure that exactly?
I was complicit in the Renan system, bound by its values, resigned to being swept along, without the resolve to take a stand. And when I realized the severity of my mistake, all I longed for was punishment. A lord. And yet my first instinct was to place my fate in the hands of others.
I think I can relate. I couldn't stand watching my people bow and scrape their way through life, but I didn't know what else I could do about it either. The ability to think for yourself and be your own master, that's what separates a slave from a free person. At least, that's what Law's dad Zephyr used to say. Zephyr taught me how to fight. But in doing so, he also taught me how to live.
Even if it means stumbling along the way. If it's on a road of our own choosing, free of regret. Why, that's the road of freedom. Or, to put it another way, so long as his heart is compromised, even the loftiest of kings is no freer than a slave. I think I finally understand now. This Zephyr character sounds like he was a wise man indeed. I only wish I could have met him.
There's just so much I wish I could ask him, especially now. I wonder, have I been correctly carrying on the torch that he passed to me?
How long have you known?
Known what?
About the darkness I carry inside me. You seem to have been aware of it for quite some time now.
Why ask me now? What does it matter? But yes, I have. I've pretty much known that something was gnawing at you ever since we left Menancia.
So basically since the very start of our journey then. Just when I thought I couldn't feel more ashamed.
Leave the past where it belongs. We have no need for it now. You're forging ahead. That's what matters. If my brother could see you, he'd be proud.
Not as proud as he would be of his sister, I'm sure.
Well then, just as well it's not a competition, huh?
Kisara? Anyone at home in there?
Sorry. Did I look distracted?
Among other things. To be entirely honest, I couldn't tell whether you were smiling or frowning.
You were thinking about Dohalim, weren't you?
That obvious, huh? I was just thinking how good it is to see him moving forward at last. It was always so infuriating, knowing how capable he could be if he just put his mind to it. A prisoner trapped in a cage of his own self-doubt. But now, he's finally beginning to spread his wings. I'm happy for him.
So, then why do you look so sad?
Oh, I don't know if I'd say sad. There's a bittersweetness to it, I guess. It's good and strange, knowing that he won't be needing me anymore. It probably sounds weird, doesn't it? I have this massive worry off my mind. I should be jumping up and down for joy, right?
Must be that maternal instinct of yours at work.
Rinwell's right. You're like a mother bird, finally letting go as her child takes his first shaking and nervous flight from the nest.
A pretty big child.
That's one way to look at it. I wouldn't like to see Dohalim's face if he heard you say that. All this has made me realize I can't allow myself to become a prisoner of my own making like he was. If Dohalim can forge his own path ahead, then I can too. I won't be left behind. Done. This is sure to give the others some much-needed energy.